sense though.
It makes
so
sense.
this segment's about the money. So again, where we were kind of in and out, as I think we'll talk about investing.
Okay.
I think because right now, we need to talk about your money's actually worth something in your savings account and stuff like that. But the stock market time was last year. To buy your stocks was last year. Well, it was down 40%. Now it's up. So dollar cost moving it. Where's a good place to put your money? Homes is a good place to put your money now,
right?
Because it's flat.
Well, Troy, I think you should highlight on the fact, like, if you have $1 million cash and you want to go in and pay cash for a house, but you're an investor, why would you do that when you can go in and get a loan and then use that additional cash
and get 4
to
houses.
go and invest
Get
in
4
one thing?
houses.
Yes,
Yeah.
OPM.
Yes,
That
so
we
you
love.
should touch
Yeah,
base on that.
love that.
Yes.
Most people were like, oh yeah, I just pay cash for a house. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's stupid.
Well,
I'm gonna wait for the rates to go down and refinance
yeah.
I mean,
with a cash deal.
Yeah. And
right.
by
By the time
yeah.
you refinance
Well,
12 months, I
cash,
could have
you
put
know, buy another
600
property,
grand
you
into
can
something
keep
else.
it.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, there, good.
Yeah,
plan.
we can talk about house hacking too. I love that.
what's house hacking?
We were talking about it last night. About like you
I was an hour late, and I definitely
buy one side, or you buy a duplex, for example. You live in one side, you rent the other, or you buy a
Yeah.
house at 3% down, live in it for 2 years,
Yeah.
rent it out. I'm saying like that's.
Oh yeah.
Nobody talks about that.
I talk about
Well,
it.
maybe you do.
I was about to say, I talk about it all
we
the
talk
time.
about it
every day.
I mean,
Yeah.
all the time because
Okay.
I was explaining to
real
Jack 'cause
estate
we were
is
like,
the only way I think the
Yeah.
average American
You talk here.
can jump,
Create something.
create
Okay.
some
Yeah.
wealth,
So
some
is
long-term
it
wealth,
smart to buy
and
one bedroom
but they don't have
condo
20,
downtown?
25%. So buy a house, live in it a couple. Oh yeah, I talk about that
Yeah.
all
Why
the
don't
time.
you buy a
Okay.
three-bedroom house on
Yeah,
the
I think
outskirts,
that's-
rent
like I
it
said,
out,
that's the
make it
norm-
your
'cause,
homestead, get
you
the
know,
tax break.
A lot of
Yeah.
people that are younger, and
people
especially in their
don't get
20s,
that
like
though.
people in their 30s, 40s, maybe a little bit more,
Yeah.
but it also just depends
But
on
just
what
think
you're
you could
listening
have
to.
4 more houses by the
I
time
know.
you're in your 40 if
All
you
right,
started in your
this is
20s.
all good stuff.
Okay, ready? We're ready. Sorry.
Is Wyatt keeping us on track?
I used to.
Hello, Austin, Texas. You're listening to the Home Team with Troy and Wyatt, where we bring sports and money together for your education and entertainment. If you have anything that you need to know that we did not explain in this segment, please reach out to me at loansfromtroy.com or give me a call at 855-299-HOME. And as always, this segment is brought to you by Security National Mortgage, where we turn houses into homes by financing
Your
American dream. All right, so just kind of this is the fun segment for me.
Yeah.
This is the fun segment for me, guys. This is money.
Right.
I believe
money can be fun or it can be daunting.
well, I believe that it's daunting for 99% of Americans, and I think that our parents didn't quite understand it, so they didn't teach us, and so we don't know, and we make a lot of mistakes. And I think that I have made so many mistakes over the first, couple to 3 decades of my life that I've learned, and I now get to pass it on. So you all don't have to be as dumb as I was,
You've had 3 decades.
or so.
Or so. You said or so.
I was just thinking of 3 decades of wasting money.
Fair
I wasn't even
enough.
talking about all the decades.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes, and so of course, one of the most time-proven methods of creating wealth is real estate, and so therefore we have brought on Dustin Weiss of the Weiss Group.
Yeah, Austinite.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
I mean, the Weiss High School is named after him.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Okay,
So
maybe
here-
not.
Maybe not. Well, hey, but we're going.
There could be a disclaimer there.
Hey,
We're
let's just start the rumor.
Yeah,
If we start it here, it'll be
That
true.
road, Weiss Road, that's
Yeah,
his road.
That's his road.
Yes.
He actually built it with his
Yes.
hands. Yeah.
Oh,
I think he has a sign in his house, honestly.
Okay.
I do. I also was born right next to Weiss High School.
Really?
yeah. See, it is named after him.
That's right. Well, because he was born in the playground.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a good story by the end of this. So now, anyway, Austinite knows his stuff. Very successful. So
Absolutely.
we're pleased to have you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and he is the team leader of the Weiss Group, and he is showing the older generation how the new and improved way to do real estate is. So you should definitely reach out to him at 512-605-9611. If you have any questions, you're ready to buy a house, you want to invest, or anything like that, he's going to answer it. And
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. Is that right now? So right now, it's kind of if you listen to everything we said to do when we first started this show 4 years ago, you've got money saved up, you're out of debt, and you're trying to figure out what to do with it. If you've listened to us, right? If you haven't, listen to us now.
Start now.
Yeah, but
Never too late. That's
so
what we talk about.
So the question is now, all of a sudden, you have options with your money. right? A year ago you didn't. You either had to overpay for a home, or you got 0.9% for your savings account, and the stock market was collapsing and it was like 35% down. And that was the time I was saying stock market was your option because everything was on sale. Everything was on sale. Every product that the market had was on sale. Well, the stock market has returned, so it's not on sale. So you want to still keep dollar cost averaging, but do you want to put that extra money into it? I'm starting to believe real estate's the way to go again. I'm starting to think that's where it's at. And Dustin, what are you seeing out there?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that there was so much concern in real estate in 2022, given what happened in 2020 and 2021. But I think now, whether it be interest rates, whether it be the cost of capital, and just in general, I think people have started to accept that this is going to be the new norm, whether it's for the short or the long term, right? And so from, not only me being an investor, but seeing clients, like, over time, your real estate will either stay steady, it may dip a little bit, but it will always go up in the long term. So I think, kind of what we were talking about before was that people need to try and look at the bigger picture and not focus so much on the short term, right? And if you look more long term, real estate's the answer, right? And whether that be a cash out refinance and being able to use that money to go and buy another real estate asset or put it into the stock market if they so choose, having that asset for X number of time will allow them to do more things with that money.
Yeah, and that's a key. You mentioned something a couple times that we've talked about, and I want to make sure we bring it back up, but is that with everything, either the stock market or the housing market, it's not timing. I mean, sometimes you are timing in luck, but it's time in.
Absolutely.
Right? Plain and simple. And people need to understand that. And that's why I'm like, when's the best time to buy a home? Right now, because you need to get in today so that you can recoup the benefits, 3 or 4 years from now. And a year from now, you're still got another couple more years to go. And so it's always time in the market, whatever market we're speaking of, is more important than actually when you're getting into it. Because if you look, like you said, historically, Austin is a 4.5% appreciation market, period. That's just what it is. $500,000, that's $500,000 home, that's $20,000 a year.
Right.
But you got to start. You have to buy the home to start the natural appreciation.
Absolutely.
And so that's the big important part.
And I think a lot of people are seeing things, because like right now, active listings are up 118%.
Yes.
May numbers are out. But we have someone like you who have these listings. You're getting them taken care of.
Absolutely. And like I said, we are seeing multiple offers for the right properties that are priced well, that are well maintained and taken care of. And, our days on market may have gone up a little bit, but we are still low on inventory as a whole, right? But sometimes I think when a buyer is seeing the news and all that, they're not feeling the on the ground in the market.
Right.
What we're seeing there are some multiple offer scenarios. There is more competition than you may think. However, it's still a very optimistic time to be a buyer and get into it now.
And they also see, Austin Round Rock MSA, which also almost goes to San Marcos.
Right.
So a lot of those outskirts, those are going to, the inside of Austin, some of the more desirable school districts are tough to get.
Absolutely.
And there's still some homes that you can get some good prices on outside of Austin, most certainly, right? But that's getting fewer and far between.
Absolutely. You used to be able to get into the homes in the low to mid 300s. That's very hard to do now.
Yeah. What's the median price is $467.
Right.
That's crazy. Can you believe that, being from Austin?
It's crazy. No, I mean, I remember when my parents bought houses much lower than that.
Right.
Oh yeah, no, my first house was $78,000.
Wow.
In the 90s.
78,000
on Candlestick and Palmer Lane. It's like a $600,000 house now.
Right. Had you only kept it, right? Had you only known what you do now.
Well, it's 20 years.
I know.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, and that's one of the things too when they talk about inventory. The active listings being up 118%. Well, 3,200 of those 8,900 are pending sales.
Right.
So of those 8,900, only 5,700 are possibly available.
Exactly.
And how many of those, now that the builders are on the MLS, how many of those are builder lists?
Right.
So that's what I'm saying is that if you do the full numbers, we're at 3 months of inventory, but if you take out pending sales and you take out to be built, we're like a month and a half of inventory. And people don't realize that we are still in that. But sellers, because the market's slow, sellers are negotiating. If the market wasn't slow, this right now, people would be $100,000 over inventory. Is what
Right.
what this numbers say to
Well, I'm
us.
gonna ask y'all both a question, and I'll ask it to you first. I know what his answer is going to be, but interest rates come down a 0.5%. That's
Right.
you're going to see a lot of change.
Absolutely. I think we're going to see, if it goes below 6, I think we're in for
Oh,
quite a lot of people that are going to come out of nowhere.
And
you
twenty-
remember February? Remember how busy February was?
Yes.
Rates got to 6.3
Mhm.
in February.
February was our best month ever.
And it went down what, a quarter of a point?
I mean, well, it went down. It went down almost a point from December to February.
Right.
Right.
But then it went down to 6.3. It was as low as it got. I mean, we were swamped.
Yep.
You know, it was just swamped, and it came back up. And now it's 7. Whenever the rates fall below 7, we get busy. And then they jump right back above 7.
So it's what is it like? It's mid 7s right now.
It's low 7s, high 6s. I mean, it literally, and it's like, and I don't know how people in the market know that, oh, hey, the rates just fell below 7, and all of a sudden a lot of people starting applying. I don't know
Right.
what it is, but and then they go back over 7, and people stop applying. It's the weirdest
it's
thing.
barometric pressure.
Well,
It's something.
It's barometric pressure. It has to be the humidity
It's-
level.
it-
I don't know. It's something, right?
Well, as you mentioned too, we're almost on like 2-week cycles now. It almost feels like it's every 2 weeks something's changing, right? Whether it be the Fed, whether it be people monitoring the market, you know.
And then obviously we're getting into an election type scenario now, and that starts kind of that does change the market. It does. Hey. I thought
Another
you,
6 months of people
I
telling me
thought-
how bad everyone.
I thought you did.
is.
I thought you did press mute in your coughing, but that was a purposeful cough to show your disgust of that. Okay, fair enough.
There you go.
Yeah, I that's when I turn off Facebook when that gets around because I'm like either side. I'm like I can't handle it, but nonetheless it does change the market.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, yes. No,
Yes,
this is a
absolutely.
big. The housing industry has a big reaction on an election year. We're not in an election year.
But it's already starting.
Yeah.
All the news is coming in, and
Yes.
and it does affect it.
It does.
You know, I am. If you, in my opinion, if you're an average income, average family, like you said it earlier, and I'm just going to restate it. I think you need to do something within the next 6 months.
Can I break one myth real quick?
Yes, please do.
Everybody is so afraid of debt, and I think there is good debt and there's bad debt. And I get a lot of first-time home buyers like, I don't want to take debt. I want to have a mortgage-free home.
And they're,
There is-
and they're driving a $90,000
Exactly.
Tesla.
I'm like, you just went and bought a brand new Tesla or BMW, but you want to have a mortgage-free $700,000 and $800,000 home. But could you leverage that $700,000 home and buy other rental properties? And the other thing I get is people who are like, oh, well, I'm going to wait till the market comes up. I'm going to sell it. And I'm like, so then you're going to sell high and buy high.
Yeah.
How does that make sense?
Yeah.
So leveraging good debt with also buying properties in a streamlined, process that makes sense.
Yeah.
And Shelby had said during the break, she brought this up, and it was a good point, that if you do have enough to buy down half of a house,
Right.
don't do it. Explain why.
Because that money can be better spent in other places, right? I mean, if you can put that, not necessarily in the stock market, but especially buying other real estate,
There you
right?
go. So
if you're making 4.5%, 5% a year and cash flowing, we didn't really talk too much about that, but cash flowing the asset, appreciation, all that, you can take that $1 million or whatever that example was and spread it into 4 or 5 properties and cash flow money from each property and see the appreciation over the short term.
And then you can refinance it when the interest rates go down and get your down payment back.
Exactly.
And then you're playing with other people's money 100%.
Well, even if the rates are high, you're still cash flow. You're still making more money to cover that.
Yeah, cash flow is cash flow, and so and when you refinance, the cost is a tax write-off. So I mean, there's so many advantages.
So they should talk to y'all.
using
If
other
you're interested,
people's money.
call Troy and call them. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Call Dustin Weiss at the Weiss Group.
At 512-605-9611, or reach out to me, the home team I am with Security National Mortgage at 855-299-HOME or loansfromtroy.com. Hey, this segment is brought to you by Security National Mortgage. We hope you enjoyed what you've heard so far. We will see you in just a minute. I decided not to do the walk out. I'd have to walk it too fast.
We should break it just a little bit longer pause-wise. Just FYI.
Break what?
Pause at the end. It's some of that at the end.
I know.
So I-
Was
was
that
that good
good?
or not
You
good?
did.
You
Oh,
can just
Oh,
add
no,
it
no,
like
no.
I don't know if I squeezed that in at the last
No,
second.
no, no,
but I
no,
was
no, that
thinking
was
about
perfect.
that.
No,
Well, you
you
said
great.
I would be thinking about something, and that came
Yeah.
to mind. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I had somebody say
No.
that last night. They're like, yeah, I just don't want to take on debt.
Yeah, no, that's
Like,
perfect. That's
oh, God, people.
well, a house is not debt.
I
Yeah,
know.
you're 100% on that.
I
A
know.
house absolutely is not debt. But like I said, leasing a BMW. You know, I don't want to take on that.
Or no, with my parents, they'll pay cash, and I'm like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
You bought a $90,000 car,
Yeah.
and then there's all my money."
Yeah, I can't buy a house now. Well, because I bought this Porsche. For
That
me-
just lost
Wait,
30
for
grand. when I
for
drove
me
it
and
off
my
the
wife
lot.
and
What
my
is it?
new baby.
And a week before closing.
And a new baby.
Which one? Is it a 911?
It's
Not for 90 grand.
It
Did you
would have to
see-
be really old.
Did she really give me Porsche?
No.
Oh,
No.
that's what she
Did
said.
you?
No,
No.
no.
He was joking.
No.
Oh,
Well,
I
no,
was like,
my retirement car is a GT3.
Oh.
So
Ooh.
you don't want that.
I'd have to lose
track
weight
car
before I
that's
got one
so
of those.
uncomfortable to drive day
These
to
things are
day.
tiny.
That's what I want.
So
But
you
it's my
want it
retirement
on the
car.
side just to drive
Yes.
on the
Yeah.
track.
Yeah. I got my truck.
You need one where
Yeah.
the carrier can put you into the car. Though.
Seats are uncomfortable. Track car.
Yeah. I know.
All right, so
I just
Yeah,
wanna make sure
yeah,
you
no, I'm
realize
with-
that you're not getting
well,
like the luxury.